One of the questions that I get a lot from young moms with kids that are kind of 5, 6, 7 years old is what should I be doing to teach my child to read? What academic things should I be doing to prepare them to start first grade? And so today I'm sharing what you need to be doing to make sure that your child is ready for first grade. My name is Joy Cherick. I am a homeschool mom of 7 children, and they range in age from almost 16 down to age 4. This coming year, I actually will have 2 students in the kind of kindergarten, preschool area, and I've been thinking a lot about what I want to make sure that they have for this upcoming year as my older kids are diving more deeply into their different subjects and really trying to refine, their handwriting or their math or learn new skills. What do my little ones need to be doing? What do we want to make sure that they accomplish over the school year? So let's dive in. So the 3 things that I really want to make sure that my children are getting, my youngest, that is, I want to make sure they're getting outside every single day and that they are learning the names of plants and that they are really experiencing the good gifts that God's given them in nature. The next thing I want to make sure that they have is just access to art supplies and handcrafts and different things of different textures so that, again, they're able to learn how to use their body really well. And the last thing that I really want to make sure that they have is songs, beautiful songs that fill their mind, their heart, and their soul so that they can just have that extra level of experience to draw from. So, with the first one, with nature study and getting outside, I'm not just talking about spending all day out in a field. Now, you may be able to do that once a week with your young kids. And if you can, I think it's really valuable. What I'm more talking about is a regular habit that gets you outside every single day for a short period of time. And really, little kids need at least an hour, if not 3 hours outside every single day. So, how do we accomplish that if we have a really busy life? And for me, like my older children are doing a bunch of things. So, one of the ways that we do that is to get outside and do a daily walk. I have a certain time every single morning. Often it'll be after we've maybe done a group activity, some sitting, then we get outside and we go for our walk. And what that often will lead to is a little bit more play. It helps me understand what clothes we need to be wearing, what shoes they need to be wearing, so that when they have more time, maybe later in the morning or later in the afternoon, then I know how appropriately dressed they should be. So the next thing I want to make sure my young kids have is access to art and art supplies. So whether that is this coming year with my 7-year-old, I will be teaching her additional brush drawing lessons. She and I will be sitting down. We'll be going through a lot of the same lessons that I teach in my brush drawing course and nature study course, just to make sure that she has a really strong foundation. If you want to check out my brush drawing and nature study course, it's called Bloom and Brush. I will leave a link to that below. It is a good price right now. I've got it on sale for back to school, so you can check that out in the description. And then finally, the last thing I want to make sure that my young kids can do and are just having as a habit, and that is songs, singing hymns, singing folk songs. And I love a good sea shanty. I love a good hiking song. We often will use the Ambleside Online folk songs that Wendy Capehart put together years ago. And those songs have been one of those habits that when I first started homeschooling, I kind of pushed to the side because I felt like it was a lot of work to kind of learn a new song and teach it to my kids or whatever. But now it's something that I do not miss. I do not miss incorporating folk songs into the regular habits of our family life. It adds more jollification to our chore time. I start hearing them singing those songs around the house. It just creates this really beautiful atmosphere that I really don't want to miss out on. And the stories and folk songs, the theology of the hymns start to, again, they float through the atmosphere of our home, but they also like seep into the hearts of my children. And it gives us a wonderful point of reference. There's this amazing folk song called The Golden Vanity, and it is about a boy who, well, he's like an older boy, a ship's boy, who is working on a ship. And it turns out that they are going to get really close to their enemy. And he says, well, I know how to swim. I can take this owl, which is like a thing that you can bore holes into with, and I can swim under the ship, and I can bore a hole in that ship, and I can cause it to sink. And the captain says, okay, well, if you do that, I will give you my daughter. And of course, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but look up The Golden Vanity. And this story is one of bravery. It's also one of treachery and wickedness. And what is wonderful about it is it's given us a lot of opportunities to talk about doing what is right, staying and following through on our word, even though it might not feel that great to follow through. So these folk songs we've incorporated into our home have just brought such life and joy into the home. So the three things that I'm saying you got to make sure you have in the next school year are nature, getting outside, letting your kids move their bodies in nature. Don't freak out if they decide they need to climb really high or balance on something. The danger is part of learning. And then art, handcrafts, teaching them new things, how to use their bodies and how to either sew or paint or work with clay or sand. All of these things help them learn how to use their bodies intentionally and deliberately. And that actually helps them um, with other parts of learning, other ways to make connections. It really gives them an amazing foundation for their auditory system. It gives them a great foundation for their motor and visual system. And all those things need to be working together so that they can read and narrate, write well, do their math, all of that. But they don't need to be doing the reading and the math right now. They need these other things that allow them to use their bodies well. And then finally, get those folk songs, listen to those folk songs. It'll add beauty to the atmosphere of your home. And I really think that you will enjoy it too. All right, well, that's all I have for this time. Don't forget to check out my Bloom and Brush course in the description below. I'll see you next time.